Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude. This is Pete out of New York City, and this is a podcast about California dreams. How you doing, George?
I'm doing great. I am George from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and
That's right.
I am out of turn.
It's true. That's true. You are out of turn. You are. You got pushed up in the ranks this week. Zach is unavailable this week, so we're gonna trudge on. We have a really special guest with us, and because we love him so much, we gave him, I think, the best episode of California Dreams that we've watched so far. Would you agree with that, George?
This is by far the best episode of California Dreams. The writers did a bang-up job on this.
Wow. I mean, yeah.
This should have been nominated for an Emmy.
What more can you say? Our special guest with us is Billy Shinker. Hello, Billy. You want to tell people a little bit about yourself?
Hey there. My name's Billy Shinker. I live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn in New York. I'm an audio engineer, projectionist, and all-around AV dude. For a
Some would say nerd, but I'll take it. That's true. We wanted your expertise on this because the show, if nothing else, is just from a production standpoint, it's outstanding. Okay,
it's phenomenal.
And we've been friends for a long time, over a decade now, and I wanted to repay all the friendship favors that I've cashed in by showing you just what a perfect encapsulation of what California Dreams is all about. And so
I appreciate it.
You can tell from the snark in our voice, this was a painful episode, but we're gonna get through it together. Anyway, this is Surf Dudes with Attitude. Thanks for coming back. Billy, this might be your first episode. If this is anybody else's first episode, we review every episode of California Dreams from a music industry standpoint. Now, some of those episodes don't really fit the mold. Some of those episodes are filler episodes. Some of them are bullshit dream episodes, and some of them don't have any music in them. And guess what? This is all three. All right.
I do want to say that you keep trashing this episode.
I've just started.
I'm putting my personal reputation on the line. This is the best episode of California Dreams. You have my word is my bond. I guarantee this is the best episode.
George, if nothing else, if not the best method actor on this podcast. I was really trying hard with this one. I do have some positive things to say that we're going to get into. I think what's the word? Fun. That's it. I think people. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've felt that word and had that word, but like I think this episode is really trying, and I think they're self-aware of it. The in jokes are definitely there, and they know it's silly. So let's get that out of the way. I think they're just having a good time with it. But
they most certainly are trying, and honestly, the level of effort put in from the cast, because this is a really cheesy, hard to watch episode.
Very hard to watch.
And the entire cast completely committed to this. Like the
acting's superb.
They did not hold back.
Sub maybe perb, yeah.
But I mean, like I do have to give the cast credit. This episode, the writing was trash, and they did an excellent job making it the best that they possibly could.
Sure.
Yeah, you can tell that they had fun with it while they were doing it.
Well, at least somebody had fun. I'm glad. Okay, so anyway, thank you for coming back with us. We are halfway through the second season now, I think, with this episode or next. That we should give a disclaimer. We've done every episode of this season. This season is a little out of order, and some of these aren't going to make sense. And at least with an episode like this, it really doesn't matter where this episode landed, because it could be anywhere. This has no consequential impact on the plot whatsoever. But we are seeing this as episode 8. We are going by the episode air date on TV. So just in case anybody is confused, because there are differing orders out there. Is that about right? at the housekeeping, I think. If you guys
Yes,
want
we're doing this as the television record IMDb shows. This is episode 8.
and IMDb, never wrong. That's what it stands for. That's what the acronym is. So you guys want to check us out, surfdudeswithattitude.com. That's all about us, where you can find all of our links. If you want to go to californiadreamspodcast.com, that is where you can support us on Patreon, because that helps the show keep going.
And do us a favor, tell your friends about the show and rate us on whatever podcast client that you use.
George, we did a podcast 15 years ago together, almost at this point, right? No, yeah, 15 years, something like that.
It must have been a dream.
And
I think I hit on someone's girlfriend. And
I think, I remember us telling people then over Skype, tell a friend about the show. And we were still begging you to pretend you have a friend and go tell them, or make some alt accounts, subscribe to the show, rate the show, and then give us a share on your favorite social media platform. Billy, I apologize in advance for this episode, but I'm really glad to have you on board. We're gonna get through this together, okay?
Thanks for having me. It was a fun episode for my first episode. I mean,
well, all right.
We just gotta Thelma and Louise this, grab each other by the hand, and slam on the gas.
Well, in lieu of Zach not being here, I will say, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So the infamous episode in question, that you wouldn't really know if you checked out the YouTube comments about this video, this episode, because this is, if you didn't know, Billy, the only place this is streaming is on YouTube. That's it, and maybe the Pirate Bay or something. It's for some reason California Dreams has no streaming rights on any platform. And so it's just on YouTube. It is just uploaded by fans of the show, and it is not taken down, knock on wood. So, but we usually try to look at the YouTube comments just to get a general feel for what the people are like, what the public is demanding with California Dreams. And you wouldn't believe it, but people love this goddamn episode. I saw a lot of comments that were like, "This is my favorite episode." I cannot fathom. I mean, if you're already so in love with this show by the second season, I can't imagine the first run people watching this live were like, bang up job, loved it. Because
it was such a different time, though.
So I guess first and foremost, have you heard of this show? Have you ever seen it? Let's get that out of the way. I kind of want to see where your head's at.
I've never seen it. I've never even heard of it.
I'm hearing that from so many people. Like, how did I grow up in some kind of some Truman Show scenario where like this was only on for me, and then I make everyone else watch it? And I think all the people, when I saw the California Dreams perform live, all those people were paid actors.
You've seen them live.
That was the apex of this podcast. I saw them live. I had decided to do the podcast after 10 years of deliberation in my head and having people turn me down to be co-host. And they happened to be playing that week for the first time in fucking years. So we should mention that they're getting back together again. I'm not sure when this is airing, but like they're getting back together in July of this year, July 10th or July 12th and 14th. Or 10th and 12th, or something like that, in California, in LA. So their first LA show in a very long time. But they, these people live all over the globe now, so they have to like ring them together, and they got to put on these shows. But as I was watching the show, so many huge fans of California Dreams, but I'm starting to think that they're all plants, and
they have to be.
This was an experiment done on me as a child. So this episode in question, called High Plains Dreamer, the 8th episode of the second season, came out on October 30th, 1993. That means this is another Halloween episode. I guess because they're cosplaying the entire time, that makes sense. But like,
yeah,
there's nothing spooky about this episode. It is so goddamn goofy from second one to 22 minutes and 51 seconds through. Like, it is rough.
Yeah.
So your first episode, could you garner what was going on in California Dreams based on this episode?
I would never know. I would think that's. I mean, they all have instruments. I mean, they all have instruments throughout it.
Though? Do they?
Yeah.
In this episode?
There's at least like 3 people who are playing instruments. There's the guy popping in and out playing guitar and like singing.
So this is a great idea I just got.
Let's hear it.
You tell me what you think the band California Dreams is based on this episode, this fucking filler dream. It's only slightly above clip show episode of California Dreams. Can you tell me what you think the band entails and tell me who's in it and what instrument do they play based on this?
I have no clue.
Well, you got to try. We got time to fill, so you got to try.
I don't remember their names.
Okay, well, just describe them. So the guy with the guitar that's popping up.
That's popping up. He has to play guitar, I would assume.
Okay.
The drum salesman plays drums.
Okay, that's correct.
There's a girl who he thinks she's like a Native American, which kind of seems a little
what do you know? Yeah. We'll talk about her, but what do you think she plays in the band?
Tambourine or some other percussion, you know?
Just tambourine.
Or some other like
occasional wind chimes. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know who any of the other band members are. That would never have given me any idea.
Do you think? Okay, this is great. Because do you think Jackie is in the band?
No.
Okay.
Couldn't imagine.
You're correct. You are correct. Jackie is not in the band.
They make her Jezebel. How could she be in the band? She's got to be a groupie.
I got a lot of questions about that. You know what?
There's so much to unwrap with this episode.
All right, yeah, let's just start unraveling this fucking onion of an episode. So we're gonna start at the movie theater. The drum salesman, his name is actually Tony in the show. I think in the dream state everyone has different names, but
he's still Tony.
He's Tony, right?
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't confuse first timers like you. He's watching a movie. It's an Old West movie. And he's with Jackie. So you should know that Jackie is the character is a repeat. She has been in about 3 or 4 episodes, but this actress is new that has played her. And I'm like, bullshit, I'm calling continuity.
So there was another actress that played in the
at least one, if not 2 others. Maybe George can look it up, but like this is Tony's on again, off again relationship. Tony's he's a hound dog. He loves the hot famales, and he's always doing a panty raid. Basically, he's always like going after the new girl. But for some reason, he's on and off with this Jackie. But that also might be because the episodes are all fucking out of order. Anyway, on again, off again, because we find out in this scene that she recently broke up with this dude named Beau.
Yeah,
this big dude,
scary guy,
big scary guy. He played Cooper in Event Horizon. I don't know if anybody ever saw that, but
yeah, definitely. Wow.
Okay, so
does not look familiar at all.
Okay, well, anyway, Beau comes in. Tony makes a big huff that he'll stand up to Beau to protect his new woman or whatever. He comes in immediately. That's the joke. That's the punchline. Wind up in a pitch, and Tony faints as soon as Beau gets up in his face. And it just fucking starts. That's it. Like that was a barely like this bookend of an episode is horse shit, because like it just starts. It assaults us no matter what. So
we don't even get the like diddle-doo, 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 like other world scene or anything.
So as soon as this started, this is Sharky's. Okay, this is not what Sharky's normally looks like. Oh, you know what? George just brings up a good point. I might be confusing Jasmine with Jackie. So just disregard everything I said. He only dates girls that start with the names with J. He only dates girls with the names that start with J. So My
Are
bad.
you sure about that, though?
I don't know.
George, can you do the research?
There might be a Jamie that he's invested time with, so we'll see. But anyway, this episode, the dream starts at Sharky's, but it is not Sharky's. It is a saloon.
Boom. Kimberly.
Dude, it is. You don't know what Sharky's looks like, but like there was a lot of production on this thing. Okay, so I have a lot of questions as far as like time anachronisms and stuff, and I was getting ready to kind of rail on it, where I was like, wait a minute, is there fucking electricity? Like, what year is this supposed to be? Because like the Old West did not have electricity, and but as the episode went on, it became more and more apparent that like they kind of don't give a shit either. This is all fun, and we're all just hooting and hollering, rootin' tootin', having a good time. So they don't care. So I will say that the production looked nice, but as you brought up, is this a fuck saloon? Is this a saloon where people are banging?
It totally is. That's what the like main woman was. She's like the madam.
She's the madam.
Yeah,
okay,
totally.
So
it's so weird.
Miss Wu is played by Samantha Wu. She is in the band. She is new as of a couple episodes ago. She is an exchange student. The show was originally about the Garrison family, and Matt, the guy with the guitar, it was him and his sister in the band. Jenny left. Didn't want to do the show anymore, and the next episode they brought in Sam as an exchange student from Hong Kong, and wouldn't you know it, she just moves into Jenny's room and becomes the singer of the band. So she didn't do anything musical in this episode, I don't believe, but that's okay that you didn't understand that she was in the band. So would have been nice to see her at the, well, I mean, as of right now she's just a singer. Later on, I think she becomes more of like the piano player, because I would have liked to see a fucking kick-ass like saloon piano.
Yeah,
like,
you were expecting something like that, or maybe a brawl.
And I get it. This is Tony's dream, so some things might be non-linear and not make sense, but it's immediately silly from off the bat. Matt is coming in and he starts singing stuff that's going on in the show. The chords are always the same for anybody following along. It just goes A to D to E back to A. Variations of that. It's all major. Matt's like one of the few people that can actually play and sing at the same time, and is actually recorded live for these shows. Otherwise, when they're rehearsing or where they're at shows, it's very much produced and they're all like miming and shit. But like Matt can actually play. Brentley Gore is a good guitarist. Okay. Cool. Brentley Gore, please come on the podcast. Okay, we love
You're
that.
A good guitarist.
The Western episode's my favorite. Please come on and talk about it and wear the same outfit
and sing those songs. Mime what we're doing.
Yeah, if you could just be in the background and mime exactly what me and a guest host are talking about, that would be fucking dope. So we're starting to get to know all the people on the show, the new people, and it might be confusing for you or a first-time watcher. They would not know anything, especially when Sly comes in. Sly is their manager, and he's nutty professoring the shit out of this role. He plays like 3 or 4 different roles. He first comes in, he's got the eye patch on. He's the band manager. He's the one that gets him on the shows, and he kind of makes Tony look like an asexual eunuch. Okay, like Sly is very much horny all the time, and he's always scheming. So he's got like 3 of the 7 deadly sins on at any given time. Okay,
I like that guy.
All right. Oh, you do? Because he's super problematic. He's terrible. He has made a lot of the most overt racist jokes on the show. And I say that before we meet Tiffany in this next scene, when we're going to jump to the garage. And the first thing I noticed in this scene was that the washer and the dryer are still in the background. They did so much set design with this, and they're like, nobody's going to care.
There's a bunch of stuff like that throughout the episode.
You could have throw a potato sack over it. Throw a hay bale. Literally, it would have been cheap or free to change. But do I want to give the production and set designers like credit, because they're like, this is all tongue in cheek, like so much tongue in cheek. They're like boring a hole through my face with this. They get it. It's a joke. It's silly. The way that they talk to each other. Tony comes in and talks to Jake. Jake plays the blacksmith in this. He's like a sharpshooter or some shit like that. So, but they have little quips that I almost laughed at. There are very few times when I laugh at this show, and they were like, "Why do you keep saying reckon?" And he's like, "It's a fun word." And I'm like, "All right, that was a good line delivery." Jay Frankie is like, he's a good actor and he's a good guitarist. I can't deny that, but I kept checking the time of like how much is left of this episode, because like there's so many set changes and shit. So I don't know. I'm talking a lot. What are you feeling as you're entering the scene? We're meeting Jake, and I guess Tony's already like worried about Beau.
Yeah. I mean, just going from being in, you said it's called Sharkey's. I assume
Sharkey's. Yeah.
So what is that place? Is it like a community center?
It's a good question. It's a surf restaurant attached to the school. If you watch Saved by the Bell, which I assume, it's their max, basically. It's exactly it. It's impossible as far as like blueprint wise. Like it doesn't make sense. There's an arcade area sometimes, and then when they have a show, they like wheel it out and they have a stage there. So they have also sold out. They've sold out shows there, and we've counted maybe 25 people in that room. So we're not sure of the fire codes and the capacity, but they have done up the entire thing to look like a saloon, and the same way they did with this garage. Now it's a blacksmith parlor. I'm not sure what you call it. I haven't played the Oregon Trail in a very long time.
It's his smelting office.
Oh, there it is. Smelting. He smelts things. So he's a new relationship for him is with Tiffany, who we also meet in this scene. They are a new couple, extremely toxic, even though like they're the darlings of this whole series. And so she comes. She's like she plays bass in the band. You were on the rhythm side, but wrong about the percussion.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. There weren't electric basses back then. I get it. But you know what there was back then? Native Americans. And they were definitely going to make an appearance in this. I was really hoping we weren't going to get it, but it's 1993, y'all. And
things just weren't the same back then, Some people pine for those days. We don't.
Tiff comes in full Native American garb, and dude, that joke, the reservation joke, was just like, that's like your old drunk uncle kind of a joke.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that really makes you embarrassed to like be from the same multi-generational family. So, but like it doesn't stop, and she commits to it. I guess I was like the most positive thing I'm willing to say. But anyway, Tony asks,
they really hammer it in.
Tony asked Jake for help with Beau, but he says he's hung up his spurs, literally, and he won't be shooting, rootin, tootin at Beau to help him. So I did want to mention in this scene that like they're all wearing bandanas because this is the Old West. All right. So you're a queer boy, I think. Is that right? You are.
I would say that's right, Pam.
Okay, cool. So you might know about do you know about the hanky code? Because we brought it up a couple times on this. Yeah, you don't. Well,
I don't know the hanky code.
Let me tell you. Well, in the gay community, you wear bandana in your right or left pocket, depending on what color and what side it's on, is denoting a different sexual kink. So, do you want to guess what kinks they have? Because we have had this before. So, for instance, we've had the red bandana before, which Matt is wearing. Do you know what that stands for?
BDSM?
You're very close. You're very close. Okay. My mom listens to this podcast. I love you, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
Red means fisting. So, so depending on your right or left is the giver or the receiver, but he's wearing around his neck. So it could be both. He switched. Now Jake is wearing gray, and that means you're a bondage top. So makes sense with all the metallurgy,
Right.
you know, and the smelting, as you said, and
Smelting.
But Tony is wearing a green bandana the entire time, and that means he's a prostitute. So that would make sense for the Sharky's thing, or the Missy Woo's Saloon is what they're calling it in this one. So just letting you know what they're all into, and that this is a safe space here on Surf Dudes with Attitude. So whatever your kink is, we're not going to yuck your yum.
We're all comfortable.
That's right.
We're all happy. Celebrate.
So we're going back to Sharky's. Sly is now playing another character. I really can't keep up. I gave up on a lot of my notes on this episode because
I didn't even notice that he was changing characters.
You didn't?
No, I did not catch that at all.
Did you fall asleep during this episode? Is that
no?
possible?
I was literally I was at work with it right here, and I was like typing, laughing hysterically at it.
So you like a court stenographer, like you were paying attention, but you're doing shorthand so you could write as much as possible, and you didn't want to miss any word.
I didn't want to miss a single thing. It was just beautiful. I truly had a great time watching this episode.
I mean, George is right. The writers on this show suck. They're pretty bad, and like they waste a lot of the good talent that is on this show. And they bring up jokes that like no kid would give a fuck about. Like in this scene, there's a Schwarzenegger joke, and like I get it, 93, he's at his prime. I get that. It's also a Schwarzenegger joke about him being a public figure, which I think is kind of profiteurial, if you will. Okay, like this was years before his run in California.
Maybe the writers are better than we think.
I know. Well, I don't want to give him any credit, but you're not wrong. This was a bit of accidental soothsaying on their part. So this whole episode is just so silly, and every scene is they're amping it up. Everybody is having diarrhea of multi-sets because they're chewing all this scenery, and they're like, so you should know that like Tony, it's good that he's the main character here because he's the best at like physical comedy. The rest of the cast, it's not totally in their wheelhouse, but they're trying to at least match what Tony's doing. I don't know if like Matt actually did a really good job with the guitar. Like his stuff was, although we might get one LPE, which is called a laugh per episode. That's what we've called it because they're so rare. We had to give it a term. It's kind of as close as I got to like a laugh. And Jake, the blacksmith, is usually very subdued, quiet, stoic, like mean dude, but heart of gold kind of thing. Right. This one, he's just, I mean, as we said in a diplomatic way, they're having a good time. I think that's all I can really say. But
I mean, when the writers are putting you in a not so great creative situation, I'm sure.
I mean, you don't know about
diplomatically as possible.
Well, what do you think their reason was? They're like, this is not like this was a cheaper episode to film. Like this is a lot of set designs. There's a lot of costuming they had to take. Like, do you think this was a rating slump? This is just this first half of the second season. So I don't know. In your extensive knowledge of California Dreams, why do you think they did this one?
Well, just thinking about that time, they were trying to like piggyback on some nostalgia. They were trying to do like Beverly Hills Cop was out at that time, right? Like a newer one had come out in like the early 90s or something.
I think you're talking about Beverly Hills Cop 3, which was the first R-rated movie that I ever saw, and I lied to my parents about. So, and to this day, is a terrible movie, and I want to apologize to my parents for not being upfront about what I actually watched. But yeah, you're right. It's goofy and funny, so I guess they're trying both. But this, I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to like piggyback off like nostalgia and do all the like the tropes that were happening at that time. and they were hoping they'd get some good ratings.
I mean,
And
maybe
the head writer was sick. Maybe the head writer was sick.
called in the B team for this. I guess it's possible, but this was the thing, and this is what I thought that it was going to be about. So normally, you're right, the tropes are there. My favorite show of all time, MacGyver, they had an Old West episode, and it was a dream episode. Like somebody gets bonked on the head, somebody has a long day, somebody's sick, they go to bed, and they have this whole fucking episode that was filmed months before. Yeah. And then usually and it's pretty earnest, though. It's not the way the California Dreams is doing it, where everything is an in-joke and a wink to the audience. Yeah. That MacGyver episode, it's pretty intense because we see characters that have plot armor die because it's a dream. All right.
Right.
And you as the audience know it's a dream, but you're still like in it and you're still invested. And then at the end of the episode, like clockwork, all the time, anytime we have a dream episode, they wake up, something happens, and then there's some little nod, there's some little twinkle that says, was it really a dream? And California Dreams did none of that. They're like, fuck that. We're going to make this as goofy and shitty as possible. So everybody's in the know that this is not actually happening. You're right. It might be a ratings thing. Now that I think about it, this maybe during sweeps week, which is something I still don't know about. Apparently, it's like we got to make the best show possible. So anyway,
everyone's got a goal.
Like for instance, so the next scene, they go to the garage, and every time there's a running gag where they're like, every time they say Beau, people duck down and get afraid. Yeah. And like they actually they set it in the garage, and then they cut to Sharky's.
Yeah.
And I was like, you fuckers, like
that was great.
That was pretty good.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It's so dope. This is not like, you don't understand. Billy, listen to me. You don't understand. This show is usually so saccharine. It takes itself so seriously while still trying to be a comedy. And it sometimes deals with heavy subject matter. And this is so out of left field. I don't know if I know there's going to be more like dream sequences, but I'm not sure about whole dream episodes. So
I'm hoping for more.
We'll invite you back for all of them if you say that. So
I'm down.
All right. Okay, so then one of the next scenes, I don't even know. It's like there's not much plot here. Am I right in saying that the plot is Tony has to Tony has to fight Beau or something? It's basically the same thing for Jackie's honor. Right? That's the whole episode, right? There's no B plot. There's nothing.
Because he wants to kiss her. That's like the thing.
Jesus Christ.
He wants the smooches.
She's a saloon prostitute. Yes. Why don't you just pay, motherfucker?
But she likes him too. That's the thing. Like,
is he going to get her out of the life? Do you think this is a leaving Las Vegas situation where like he's there, he's at Sharky's, that area, to drink himself to death, and he meets Elizabeth Shue situation, and right, this is the only way.
Yeah,
it's the only way that makes sense.
I mean, they are in a saloon, like a Madam Saloon. Did you catch the dick joke?
No, please tell.
So they're comparing Tony and Beau, and someone says something about their size, and Jackie goes, "Oh," and then like I think like Beau like grabbed her or something like that.
So she's loving this competition, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean that's a racy joke for a kids show, and it's pretty coded. Yeah, but if a parent was watching, I'd be like, I see what they're doing here.
It's to entertain the parent while they're watching this ridiculous episode.
I think, like, I mean, the joke should have been that Beau was like an extremely scrawny individual, like, but then Tony wouldn't have been afraid. So, and then hence we don't have an A plot.
Right.
So we're going to go to a new set. I think, I don't know what you guys thought. Is this a jail? Is there a jail sequence? Because and George can probably confirm. I think this is Matt's room. So Matt has an upstairs bedroom that has a piano, I'm pretty sure this is it. I think on the one wall they put it like some jail bars, and I guess Jackie comes up here to I don't know, wish Tony well because he's going to duel Beau. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. I'm pretty sure this is Matt's room. So they only use it this one time. There's a lot of debate on this podcast about whether this is Matt or Dennis's room. Dennis was Matt's younger brother that was in there for the first season, and then they've totally abandoned. He went away. He's never coming back. The parents are gone too. Like they still exist in this house, and they're all gone. We have a theory that Jake murdered everybody because of
So you just never see them?
Yep. You just never see them. Supposedly they're just like in the other room the entire time. So
I think he killed his parents.
We think Jake did it because of a new homosexual relationship with Matt. That's what Zach was hoping, at least, but we'll see. Maybe it's in the Blu-ray that's definitely coming out. Some deleted scenes. Okay,
I hope there's commentary.
This next part's fucking huge, and I love you, but I wish Zach was here to see it. Like the entirety of California Dreams. We have now watched over 25 episodes of this show, something like that. We're getting there, and we have never seen an outside shot. We have never seen the sun. We've never seen even a set that's supposed to look like outside. This is the first time that we are seeing that.
It's not.
Yeah.
You're talking about when they're outside the saloons?
Yeah, they're in the town square.
Inside. It's still inside.
No. I know it's motherfucker. I know it's inside. All right. I'm watching a movie from the fucking 30s. Like, I get that they're not in the jungle, Billy.
I don't mean outside, but you still see the inside facade of building.
They are in the town square or something. I think
I'm thinking of a different scene. Sorry.
Well, there's literally only one scene. It's where him and Beau are having a shootout. They're having a duel or something, and the gun gets shot out of his hand. Like that's the scene I'm talking about.
He shoots the vulture.
Yeah. How'd the vulture be inside?
I mean, it's a stuffed animal vulture that falls, and they definitely cut to a scene from some wilderness film from the 70s.
Well,
that sequence.
Well, and then the fact it makes a metal on metal sound when it bonks his head. I don't want to get in the minutia of the sets on this show, but this, you understand, we've been waiting to see an outside shot for so long, and this technically would be the first outside shot, even though it's not outside. We've been hoping so beyond hope that we'll get an actual outside scene, and the way that Saved by the Bell did it.
Kids to go outside, they want you inside.
I know.
Playing guitar.
I understand. Well, I mean, this show came out on Saturday morning. Like the whole point of Saturday mornings, kids aren't in school, watch this show, then go out and do fuck all. So
right.
I was really upset. Matt comes in, pops in. Matt is the best part of this episode. He just pops in when it's funny. He's very self-aware about how silly he is, and he's having fun with the show. Everyone else is, I think, trying their best. I mean, it's a big deal. An outside shot. I'm marking it on a calendar. We have a California Dream shrine behind me that I will mark with it. And just to prove to you, saw them live. It's going to show George this. This is the set list that I stole from the show. Okay?
Did you get up on stage and steal it from them? Rip it out of their hand?
I'm not going to tell you how I did it, but I did it. Okay?
That means you pushed a little girl over.
Oh, yeah. With my feet. So none of these songs will mean anything to you, but you will be happy to know that none of the Western songs in this episode made that cut with their reunion show. So
I imagine. Can I ask a question about the theme song? Because we didn't really get into that.
Please do. Yes.
So how serious is that theme song?
Okay.
How in love with it are they?
So you got some notes, like maybe we'll go back and change it. Every single guest has talked about the theme song and how it doesn't match up at all.
All.
I really wish you would see an actual episode of this show where they perform as a band, but like that song is indicative of the rest of their set. Like we had a great guest on from Baywatch Watch, and they said it's so Christian contemporary. That's what it just sounds so adult and soft rock. And it's not like what a high school band is supposed to be. Like it's just so wussy and
like 40-year-old men who are like balding and like, you know, ED pills, like making music.
Watch it, buddy. You're right. It's really there's no edge to it whatsoever. And we always say like the first line of the song is "Surf Dudes with Attitude." It's where we got this fucking podcast name. It's the least attitude-y song on there, and you should know. Since I have proof right here, Exhibit A. They started that show, that reunion show, with the TV edit of the theme song, and then their encore was the extended version of the same song. So that show is iconic. I don't know if you noticed, like the theme song that I wrote for this podcast borrows those 6 notes. The da 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 da. That is from this. It's from that theme song, and I at least wanted people to know that. Yes, I've listened, and yes, I've learned it. And while I don't like it, I understand the impact that it has had. So.
Apparently, there's an entire generation that know this show, though, right?
Dude, yeah, and yes, they are out there. They may or may not like this podcast because of what we talk about, but they are out there. We've heard people that are big fans of the show don't like us. I mean, the show was syndicated literally all over the world, so like it did get big, all right. But we do have some super fans that listen to this podcast. You know, super fans of California Dreams that are like, okay, I get it. They love the show too, but in their own way. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Truthfully,
I mean, thoroughly. That's an adverb. Sure.
I'm being honest. I mean, I do have a lower quality of like content that I generally like.
Okay, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
When I pitched this to you, I was like, do you have like a masochistic sense of cinema humor? Basically, like, do you like when something's so bad that it kind of makes everyone else wretched? Does that turn you on in a cinematic way? Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
That's why it was so hard finding somebody to like do this podcast with, because I was like the worse it gets, the kind of more I love it. But episodes like this really test me. And I would much rather a very special episode where there's a drug addiction than something like this. I hate filler episodes because I'm like, yo, commit. All right. Like if soap operas can put out like 7,000 episodes and always be dramatic and self-serious, you can fucking do it one week, California Dreams.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe the head writer was sick, you know. I mean, I've never seen the show. I don't know what the regular writing is like.
The bar you have set is so low. Like the next episode is
so forgiving.
The next episode for you is going to be like the Ozymandias, like this, the second to last episode of Breaking Bad, which is like supposedly like the best one ever, and you're like, that's what it's going to seem like to you. So, I don't know if you said did this episode remind you of Unforgiven, one of the best westerns ever made?
I think it's more like Young Guns.
Okay, I see. I can see. So we're gonna go back to the saloon. Sharkies, if you will, and I really thought that the band was going to play here, because I'm like, you know what, you guys you're not taking this seriously at all. Like, you're committing, which is great, but like, just let the band play at that point, you know. But they didn't, and
it's his dream. He should be able to have the power to like incorporate what, you know, like. So like, I guess, why aren't they fucking jamming?
They're having a show to draw Beau out, I guess, after this
square dance.
This duel went south. Well, Jake came in and save the day, but he won't let Tiffany know because he said he's no longer a gunslinger. It's like painful for me to like recount plot points of this, so just keep up. Anyway, Tiffany is doing bad stand-up comedy there, and it's all Native American based. And then the band plays, and then Matt starts to play fiddle. Matt does not play fiddle, but he was trying.
Was cool. That was cool. You know?
So we look at the fingerings on this show a lot, which sounds gross, but stick with me. we try to follow what they're playing, and like I could tell Matt does not play violin, but he knows how to work a violin, and that's important. That means you spent like maybe an hour for a week before the show figuring it out and listening to it. Like, good on you, Brentley Gore.
He did a good job. You know, I enjoyed that portion.
So they're bringing Beau there so they can, I don't know, beat him up, teach him a lesson. Is this a lynch mob? Because like, that's problematic too.
There's a lot of problematic things about this episode. They have the Asian girl running the brothel.
Yeah, I don't know if they made an Asian joke. They tend to do it almost every episode. I'm really hoping it just like they get sick of it too and stop. But
I think that was the Asian joke. That she was running the saloon. I think
is that a stereotype I'm unaware of? That they were good at business or something? Like, I guess. Well, good for her. I love her entrepreneurial spirit. Awesome. I mean, I hope everybody there is willing and consenting to their sex work. So
it seemed like a peaceful place. They seemed like they.
I mean, they're scared of Beau, so everybody's collectively in the same chasm. So I guess they beat up Beau. Sly is in his third or fourth final form at this point, and he's once again cross-dressing. This is, I think, the second or third time. It's at least the second. It might be the third time that Sly is completely cross-dressed on this. And he always tries, and he does the girl voice, even though nobody believes that he's actually passing as a female. So I don't know what else is there to say. Tony reveals that he is the one. He saved Jackie, and he finally gets his kiss. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, he gets his kiss.
But Matt has been cock blocking him the entire episode. But I think he finally gets his kiss, and then he wakes up in the movie theater.
He smashes the guitar, remember? And that's how he gets him out of there. Okay,
you're right. I think that might be the last guitar smashing we see in this show. I don't ever remember another one, but I'm hopeful.
I mean, it was a pretty awesome smash. It just like collapsed in on itself. It was, I enjoyed that. I was like, damn, that kid did for a Saturday morning TV show. Did a pretty good job of just going all in.
So we're back in the movie theater, and the whole joke, the whole gag here, I guess, is that Beau is like, you got yourself a great girl. Treat her well. He wasn't going to beat Tony up at all. That's what happened. Billy, have you been through a breakup with the new guy confronts you and it's like, you got a great girl?
No.
Be a gentleman.
I can't say that I have.
I mean, Jackie has autonomy over her own body. She can make her own decisions. She doesn't need permission, from somebody else to start with somebody new. So, it was almost like it was a really stupid catalyst for a kind of a waste of an episode. And I know that sounds harsh. I appreciate what everybody did on the show, but this was inconsequential. And as a rabid fan of California Dreams, I want to see the story progress. That's all.
So you're saying there's not a sequel episode to this?
Oh, shit.
Where he then passes back out and goes through some other, adventure. We never get any more.
I don't know. Maybe the Nielsen ratings were really high on this episode, and people were like, more of that. But I seriously doubt it. But I don't know. I don't remember seeing this episode as a kid. Zach asked me that from time to time, and I this one I don't remember. But this is also an episode that I would completely, purposely block out of my memory because I hate it. And so many shows did dream stuff. So many shows did clip shows, and I think the last one I saw was like The Office would do. They did a clip show episode, and it was like universally panned as like the worst episode. Like, fuck you. All right, just have a one last episode order, or make a bottle episode. Like, stop showing us clip shows. We've all seen the show many times. Seinfeld did it twice, and it sucked. You know, MacGyver did it. It was like, oh, MacGyver, it's your birthday. You know, here's some people from your past, and he's like, hey, remember that time we got stuck in South America, and then we had I saw it. All right?
Hey, what if I didn't see it? What if I didn't? Fuck you, do a deep dive.
It's 1991. If you didn't see it, you didn't see it. Okay, stop wasting my time with this new episode. This bullshit. So, anyway, that's the episode. We made it through. To answer your question, I don't know if there's other dream episodes. I can't imagine there isn't. I don't want there to be, but I'm gonna say that it's probably gonna happen. You know, I mean, what medieval times? That's when people go back. They also, again, MacGyver did that one too. So maybe I'm just really triggered by that experience. So, George, did you enjoy this episode at all? Tell us your deep thoughts about this show and this episode in particular.
I did not, Pete. I did not enjoy this episode
George
at all.
was speechless at first. We knew from the thumbnail, we knew that this episode was going to be harsh. But I don't know. Everybody on YouTube seemed to love it. You know, so
yeah, all what was it, 13 out of the 15 people who commented?
I think it's just the same 13 or 15 people that comment on each YouTube clip. So God bless them for keeping the California dream alive. That's what we always say here. So we don't always say that.
I am hypersensitive about everything though, because the only person who did not seem to enjoy it from the YouTube videos was clearly racist.
Oh, I did see a racist comment on there, and I was like, that's not cool. You know, we have some Sam owning her own business. All right, you need to let it go. All right, times have changed. You can't. The guy was just really upset. He can't make Native American jokes anymore. I think that guy was something up his ass about it. So, so Billy, we like to quiz the guest on what they think the next episode is about. So, there's
no basis for
yeah, but don't worry. We're going to give you a massive hint, and it's just going to be the title of the next episode. So, based on that, we need you to kind of guess what this next episode is going to be about. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I can be.
Okay, George, you want to lay this one on him because this is going to be hard.
Bwahaha means I love you. That is the actual title. Bwahaha means I love you.
Like BWA, ha ha ha.
That's exactly
This predated the internet.
This is also, if this helps, one of the top rated. This is one of the top rated episodes. Okay,
just like this past episode.
So it. so wait, say it again. Bwahaha
means
I love you. So what are you so afraid of?
I can't.
Is that what it's from? These titles, they usually take on other phrases. They pun it up. So we're trying to buy you time, Billy. So you need to give us an exact who, where, what, why, and how. Is the next
I don't
episode.
even remember all their names yet. I have so much to learn. It's like a comedy show / concert that Tony's trying to prove his love to Jackie.
Okay. So Tony goes to a concert to prove his love. Is that what you're saying?
They're holding like a concert / comedy show to show Jackie.
So there's stand-up. So stand-up comedy is a big part of this show. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's gotta be Bwahaha. That sounds comedic. It doesn't sound nefarious.
I feel bad.
You don't think it sounds like an arch nemesis? Something they would say.
Well, yeah, but I can't imagine that in this show.
That's
I mean,
what
I just watched the silliest episode that I've seen that exists for it, right?
George, you're getting like the dastardly villain laugh. Isn't that
I mean, we just watched a Western. You would think that they'd be twirling their mustache.
Okay, so I feel bad for Billy here because he did not stand a chance with this one. The episode title makes no sense. George, you wanna give it to us? What actually happened?
I'll give you what you weren't close enough for half credit, maybe third credit.
I don't even get. No, I'm sorry. There's no. You didn't even get the person right.
Jake gets an embarrassing job at a local music store so that he can earn enough money to buy Tiffany a present for their 3-month anniversary. Anniversaries are years, not months, but he'd like to keep the job a secret, but that becomes tough to do when Sly convinces the store manager to sell some of the band's demo tapes.
Wow. Lot to unpack there for the next episode.
I'm wondering what's so embarrassing about a local music store gig.
Yeah, right?
I think he just doesn't like working in retail. He wants to be like, he's like a motorcycle dude.
Maybe. When I was a kid, like the job at the record store seemed like the awesome job to do. And it wasn't until like after I got out of high school that High Fidelity came out.
Then you saw how sad that was.
Right.
So when it said music store, I thought he was working at like a guitar store, and I was going to say, like, honestly, one of the worst jobs I ever had in my entire life was working at like a guitar store or like a music store where they sold instruments and shit. It was in college. It was fucking terrible, and I was like, I'll get to fucking rock out all day. It's be great. No, you are surrounded by people that have given up on music. They don't want to be there. It's just a fucking retail job, and it bastardizes everything that you might love to do as a hobby or career. So,
and you get to sell instruments to talentless musicians like me.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you get to sell a fucking Strat pack, which is a Squire, to like a kid, and it's like, kid, it's got an extra pack of strings. It's got 3 picks of varying quality and size, and it's got a strap. Give me fucking $500.
I asked Pete if I should buy a Squire the other day, and Pete's all like, "No, Squires are shit. They're not good. But are you going to buy that guitar?"
Well, I didn't want to let you think that I was going to leave you hanging. I'd rather you get a guitar than no guitar. It's important that you have one. Like, I was assuming you still had your old guitar Penny, but it's possible you don't. You probably sold it for.
I still have both of them. I'm just a sucker for a Jaguar.
Yeah,
and that Squire looked like it was like an authentic Jaguar, but it's probably like shit material.
Well, you're well on your way to being that guy that has like 5 instruments he doesn't play. Right next to him at all times, just like I do. But I do play with some of them. So anyway, that's going to do it for us here at Surf Dudes with Attitude. I promise next week this fucking weird ass titled plot might be a better episode. So please come back, listen to us. Please support the show at CaliforniaDreamsPodcast.com on Patreon. I want to thank Billy for coming on. Thank you for stomaching this episode and finding some positive things to say about it. Stay tuned for the after show, where I hope we won't be talking anymore about this. So we'll see.
The after show, we are going to take the ultimate cowboy quiz, but I do want to take this opportunity to apologize to Pete's mom. Mom, I'm sorry. I did not put the nonsense about the hanky code or fisting into Pete's head. That was all his idea, and I apologize.
You need to blame Noah Taft, who wrote this episode. That's where my mind went. All right, make a better episode, and I won't have to go to all these fucking weird avenues. Okay, I am sorry.
Mom, I'm sorry. I love you.
Truly, I love you too, Mom. So until next time, this is Pete from New York City, and everybody drive safely.
George from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and getting ready to lay down some Ultimate Cowboy.
There you go. Billy, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Let's hit the dusty trail, cowboy. Let's go.
All right, gentlemen, are you ready? We have the Ultimate Cowboy quiz ready for both of you. All right. This,
So, Billy, normally we talk about what goes on in the episode, but times like this, Georgia has to get it creative.
times like this when there is no music.
Desperate times. Very desperate times.
So this is an actual quiz from insp.com.
What is it? That's almost penis. Like that is almost penis.
All right. So the first question to the Ultimate Cowboy quiz. Where did cowboys live 100 years ago? On a farm, on a cattle ranch, in the prairie, or in the jungle? First person to say it gets it.
I understand that, but when was this quiz made? Because that's a huge deal.
It was made less than 100 years ago.
Fuck you. If it was made in the 30s, that would be a completely different answer.
I mean, it's on the internet, so it's likely less than 20 years old.
It could have been made from a manuscript, or monks could have written it. Okay, I guess I'm going to say, based purely on me playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm going to say a cattle ranch.
Yeah, that was B, right?
That is correct.
Oh, hell yeah.
I figure most of your knowledge for this either needs to come from Red Dead Redemption or what was that HBO show?
Westworld?
No, not Westworld.
Oh, Oz. You're talking a lot of prison rape. Yeah, that's
right,
the one.
Oz. No, what was the one with oh geez, you were obsessed with it for forever.
What Western?
Timothy Olyphant was in it.
Dude, I was not. I didn't even finish Deadwood. So
Deadwood.
You were mistaking me with some other Western fiend friend of yours. Okay.
Okay. Well, you were into it for a while.
I was not. Fuck off! I was not. How dare you besmirch my name of short-lived TV shows?
You like your hankies and your chaps, and
Timothy Olyphant
it's a safe space, Pete. It's a safe space.
Let's talk about the Timothy Olyphant in the room. He's a good-looking guy. Okay,
he's a good-looking guy. He really is, man. I mean,
Justified is like his newer show, and he's also him in a Western setting, but it's present day, if I'm not mistaken. I never watched either. I watched the first season of Deadwood. That's it. Cocksucker. That's what they call each other.
What happens at a roundup? Cowboys count the calves. Cowboys take cattle to get water. Cowboys take cattle to another ranch. Cowboys watch the cattle in the field.
A.
That is correct. You guys are tied 1-1.
Wow. They count the calves, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. They got to round them up.
Billy, how did you say that so confidently?
I don't know, honestly. Okay. I must have been a cowboy in a past life.
For the tiebreaker.
A cow person. That's it? This is a 3-question quiz?
No, but you're and you got to break it. How many miles can cattle walk per day? 2 miles, 15 miles, 30 miles, or 50 miles?
30 miles.
Say 15 miles.
15 is correct. 2-1 Pete.
Okay, I know that because of 310 to Yuma, which is honestly one of my favorite movies. So
really?
The Christian Bale one, yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan.
Well, you should watch it.
So we know Pete's new kink, Deadwood. You know,
that's right.
How do cowboys keep cattle together?
This sounds like a joke. It sounds like you're going to make a bad joke here. Go ahead. Sorry.
They call them on the horn. How do cowboys keep cattle together? They tie cattle together. They watch them from far away. They keep cattle. The cattle keep together on their own, or They ride beside them and behind them.
D.
That was absolutely Billy first.
I don't think so. I think there's a latency issue here, but all right.
Ride again.
I'll bring it to the judges.
Why do some cowboys wear bandanas? Because it's in style, to keep their neck warm, to keep dust away, to hide their face, or to symbolize whether or not they want to get fisted.
Dust.
It is definitely dust.
Yeah.
What are mule ears? Part of a cowboy hat that covers your ears, part of a gun belt, handles that you use to put your boots on, or a cover for your canteen.
The handles for your boots.
That is correct. Tied again.
Billy, I'm shocked how much of a rural man you are.
The shirt wouldn't say it, right?
I mean, we should mention that Billy is from Florida, which is basically the Wild West of America.
What is a lasso? A dog, a rope, a type
rope.
of cow, a knot.
Okay. All right. That's what I said.
You got it. Yeah.
I thought this was a trick question.
Who looks after the extra horses on a cattle drive? Cowboy,
Dog.
wrangler, flanker, or trail boss?
Flanker?
It is a wrangler. Tied again.
Oh, okay. You want to hear something? I just put together that's what the jeans are named after. All right.
Oh,
I thought wrangler was just a term. Stupid.
Yeah, the cowboys can't wear them. Only the wranglers can wear them.
Yeah.
When is it best to do a cattle drive? Winter, spring, summer, or fall?
Spring?
That is correct.
Damn.
Billy takes the lead.
Ooh.
I'm not even keeping track here. 100 years ago, I would have just shot this guy.
What is a cattle thief called? A scallywag, a cowbagger, a rustler, or a cow catcher?
Cow catcher?
Rustler?
No, that's on a train, Pete.
Rustler?
It is a rustler.
What the fuck? Billy?
So
the kid over here.
we have one left that we will do for fun because Billy clearly wins. Unless this one's for 10 points.
Okay, double or nothing.
Double or nothing. Let's do it.
What is a chuck wagon? What the cook drives that's loaded with supplies, the train car that gets stocked with ground beef, a nickname for a bad cowboy, or a saddle brand?
I'm going to say the chef one.
Yeah.
Billy beat Pete to that answer, and he wins by 3 points.
Or 13 points.
You're a terrible cowboy, Pete. Timothy Oliphant would be so disappointed.
Ironically, you're not the first person to call me a terrible cowboy in my life.
That handsome man would never do anything with you.
No, he would be justified not to. So I understand. I will take my licks like a good cowboy should. I'll be honest. I don't give a shit about cowboys. All right. Like liking 310 to Yuma is so outside of the realm of what I normally like because I don't give a fuck about cowboys. You know what else I hate? Fucking Kevin Costner. He keeps coming out with fucking westerns and nobody gives a shit. Okay.
That's all he can do. He's a one-tune man.
Fucking egotistical piece of shit prairie asshole. All right. Nobody cares. Put something else on.
Well, we're never getting Kevin Costner as a guest now.
Oh my God, he was supposed to come on next week.
Fuck.
Oh, well, George, is that all you had prepared for the encore? All these people.
That was, sorry,
you had so much to go off of.
With everything else. Here's a quiz question. Did you know that in the old days, the good guys wore white clothes and the bad guys wore black clothes?
That makes it just so much easier for a bystander to figure out who to root for. It's really kind of them to adhere to that as well. We could talk about the MacGyver Old West episode. Cuba Gooding Jr. starred in that one. which is great, and he died at the end of it. So spoiler alert. Yeah.
Or we can talk about Back to the Future Part 3.
I mean, literally all day, every day, I will talk about that movie because I love it and it's good.
Fantastic.
They made a train go back in time.
And we never got a fourth fucking movie.
And good. That's actually in their will.
I mean, yes.
Good for them. Rob Zemeckis is like, you will never make that. He's like, basically 90 years after I'm dead, you still can't make that film. After that, my grandchildren will take it up.
A fourth and then fifth Indiana Jones movie.
You know, I didn't mind the fifth Indiana Jones movie. I don't know why people hated it so much.
Is that the Shia LaBeouf one, or is
that? No, that was the fourth one. That one absolutely deserved.
You know what? I'll watch. I think the fourth one is better than Temple of Doom. I said it.
No,
I said it here.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. Temple of Doom is a shit. It's a shit movie. It's awful.
Oh my God.
Dude, you guys get the fuck off this podcast right now. You said it's the best one. You say, look, my favorite one.
This podcast, sir.
Last Crusade is the best one. Okay. After that is Raiders, in my opinion. But I understand people like Raiders the best because it's the first. Temple of Doom is so bad. All right. George Lucas was going through a terrible divorce at the time. Everyone sucked in it. Okay, it's not good.
Absolutely not. No.
No.
I will accept that Last Crusade is the best one just because Sean Connery is in it. But it offers nothing new. Temple of Doom was the only unique one out of all of them.
Okay,
and it is absolutely by far the best. I mean, it was so dark, and it went into an area like no one did movies about India for Lucas and
tell that to Gandhi. Ben Kingsley says otherwise.
That's a biopic, though. That's not fiction.
I think it's pronounced biopic, but okay. And,
when did we start calling, or when did we start changing the pronunciation of that?
I don't know. The pronunciation, probably when you pronounce that wrong. I will say I was not allowed to watch Temple of Doom as a kid, and I did not see it until I was way older. So I will fully admit that might have some bearing on what I'm saying.
Temple of Doom was one of the ones that like absolutely scared the shit out of me. Like
my dad would not let me watch that. He was like, it has to do with like voodoo and like raising the dead, and I was like, aren't you a pastor? It's literally what it is in the Bible.
Between all the bugs and drinking of the blood and everything, it was
I mean, that's biblical.
I know. Like, a lot of my childhood did not make sense, but anyway, the new one, everyone's upset because there was a good girl in it, and everyone's like, no, she's brash and arrogant, and she's a grave robber. I'm like, you literally just described Harrison Ford's character. Like, it's the same thing, and I thought it was good. It was fun.
The fifth one wouldn't have been so bad if they didn't make the exact same mistakes they made in the fourth one. That was the hand to the face.
I don't know. Like, nobody nuked a fridge in the fifth one. They were very self-aware of his age and all that, and even though they poked fun at it in the fourth one, he was still trying to do a lot of stuff, and the fucking CGI was awful. Like, it was just trying so hard.
But they did nuke the fridge in it. I can't even remember what it was, but there was a point in it where it was like, wow, that is so unbelievable. That is exactly like nuking the fridge.
Dude, in a movie where they literally meet a 400-year-old knight, like they have a franchise where like there's the dead is coming up from the Ark of the Covenant. You're like, that part about them getting from Greece to France that quickly, that doesn't make sense. Like, fuck off.
Yeah,
like,
yes,
literally aliens in it.
I absolutely believe that the cup of Christ could keep someone alive with immortality.
Well, maybe you're just not a true believer, George. Okay, it's the penitent man will cross. The penitent man.
No, I'm saying I do believe that the cup of Christ could keep a man alive with immortality. That, like, I don't think someone being 400 years old is that much of a stretch, especially when you start talking about the book of Genesis, where everyone is hundreds of years old.
You know what, Dr. Jones? You're absolutely right. All right. Well, listen, I want to thank everybody for sticking around for this really weird encore show. Thanks for watching this episode. We know it was different. I want to thank Billy Shinker for coming on again. Billy, you want to plug a website where people can find you, maybe hire you for some work?
oneworldentertainment.com. You can go there and find all my services.
One World Do you know that? Do you know? Hang on, it might not
I
be on
don't.
here. There is a song from California Dreams called "One World." It's on
Really?
the 7th episode. It's the racism episode, and they sing a song called "One World." I shit you
It
not.
is.
Matt and Tony have a rap duo in there. That's what you named. That's what you named your business after. That is amazing.
It is also on the soundtrack.
Which we have on tape and CD in case anybody's interested. So please visit Billy's website. He's a great audio engineer. He's been with You Red Raptors for the last 10 years on all of our albums. So thank you again. And
Thanks for having
George,
me.
thanks for putting this together. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a Waning Moon production.